Hello, and a warm welcome to each one of you. You ready to embark on an incredible journey? Journey towards transforming your fitness ambitions into tangible, awe-inspiring reality? With our rock-solid fitness goal-setting blueprint, your transformation starts today. Let's get ready to turn those dreams into achievements. I'm James Harris. I bring to you a fusion of my expertise in psychotherapy and an unwavering passion for fitness. It's a real honour and a thrill to guide you through this transformational journey. Aiming not just for improvements to your fitness and health, but also to your happiness and strength. Welcome aboard. You might be sitting there wondering, what sets this course apart? We seamlessly integrate advanced strategies from the field of life coaching to elevate your fitness goal setting success. For example, I'll be walking you through a step-by-step technique for establishing your fitness goals, known as the 4W square, as well as providing you with a powerful self-hypnosis recording called Mind Over Muscle. This unique blend of strategies and tools provides you with an holistic approach that bridges the gap between thought and action, ensuring that your mindset is as robust as your body. For a moment, picture this scene within your mind. You're standing at the brink of past attempts, each failure as disheartening as the last. Now, let's fast forward that scene to the next 6 months. And there you are now, having not just met, but surpassed your fitness goals. The combination of the 4W square technique and our mind over muscle self-hypnosis, you've cultivated a relentless drive and a mindset transformed for success. This course is all about unlocking the best version of yourself, one that thrives on challenge. Let's dive into what lies ahead. We'll start by laying the groundwork in Module 1, Mastering the Art of Fitness Goals. There, we'll elevate your fitness blueprint with SMART goals, journey through a 12-step fitness revolution, learn the art of tracking triumphs. Finally, maximize your fitness gains with recovery and recharge strategies. Each of these modules is a stepping stone towards your success. Consider this journey like a sailor who is navigating uncharted waters, where each lecture is like a vital map. Skipping any can lead you adrift. Fully charting the course ensures that you catch the winds of knowledge, propelling you towards your fitness dreams. Let's navigate through all to uncover the treasures of success. Are you with me so far? Remember, this course is all about your voice and your engagement. Any questions, feedback, or need that little extra encouragement? Please reach out. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Eager to incorporate your insights into future updates. This course is for you, crafted to transform your mindset and achieve your fitness goals. If you're as eager as I am to dive into this fitness goal transformation, then I have some fantastic news. In the next lecture, you'll gain access to 2 incredible course extras, tailor-made to kickstart your journey towards fitness goal setting excellence. Download these extras today and let's begin this exciting journey together. In this lecture, you'll get instant access to 2 incredible course extras that have been tailor-made to elevate your fitness goal setting success. If you're curious to know more about these two course extras, then you can go ahead and download the course workbook and self-hypnosis recording right now. These are available for you within the resource section for this lecture. Let's take a closer look at the incredible benefits that you can expect to receive as a result of downloading these two powerful resources. Customized workbook includes step-by-step exercises so that you can quickly and easily put into practice everything that you're learning throughout this program. For example, the workbook includes a fill-in-the-blanks fitness goal setting template, in addition to a workout log that incorporates aspects from positive psychology so that you can transform your mind as well as your body. Finally, the course workbook includes an extensive appendix section where you'll find extra resources, such as the top 10 most recommended fitness goal setting apps. Your second course extra is a powerful self-hypnosis recording. Hypnosis is a science-backed tool which is excellent for helping us to achieve our desired goals. This remarkable tool works by helping us to see our desired outcomes within our minds before they enter into our reality. So, the Mind Over Muscle self-hypnosis recording has been specially designed to ignite your drive for fitness goal setting success. Here's the best part. All that you need to do to maximize the benefits of hypnosis is to pop on a pair of headphones, relax deeply, and allow the hypnosis to do the hard work for you. How cool is that? Before you move on to the next lecture, I highly recommend that you download both of these course extras, as they'll be required to help you with completing this course successfully. Next up, let's keep your positive momentum moving forward by immediately jumping into Module 1, where you'll be mastering the basics of effective fitness goal setting. Welcome to the start of your personal fitness revolution. Today is an important step towards becoming the healthiest, happiest, strongest, and most confident version of you. By the end of this section, you will have learned the fundamental principles, concepts, and terms for effective fitness goal setting. First off, I'll provide you with an easy to understand fitness goal definition. The benefit of this will be that you and I will have a shared understanding of what that concept means. In addition to that, we'll also be breaking down the key terms that are involved with effective fitness goal setting. Finally, we'll be taking a closer look at the 4 most commonly reported types of fitness goals. This is a critical step in your goal setting process because identifying the type of fitness goal that you want to go after will provide you with a clearer sense of direction and purpose. Here's another way to think about the importance of effective fitness goal setting. Imagine for a moment that your fitness goals are like the hull of a ship. In order for the ship to sail successfully, it requires a sturdy hull that can withstand all sorts of turbulent seas. In other words, effective fitness goal setting results in you having a smoother fitness voyage. We'll conclude this first section of the course with your first exercise. This will prove to be a pivotal point in terms of identifying the type of fitness goal that you want to go after. In order to achieve this exercise effectively, you'll require a copy of the course workbook. if you haven't downloaded that yet, then I highly recommend that you go back to the introductory section of this course and grab a copy of your course workbook, as it will provide you with step-by-step instructions so that you can maximize your results from this program. Here's a question for you that I would like you to hold in your mind as we go through this section. Think about a fitness goal that you've had in mind. How might the principles that we'll be discussing in this section help you with refining and pursuing that fitness goal more effectively? Allow me to repeat that so that you can start thinking about that question as we go through this section. Think about a fitness goal that you've had in mind. How might the principles that we'll be discussing in this section help you with refining and pursuing that fitness goal more effectively? Coming up, you'll learn how to start setting your fitness goals the smart way. In this lecture, we'll be getting to grips with the basics by taking a closer look at exactly what we mean when we're talking about fitness goals. Additionally, I'll be introducing you to the SMART framework for effective fitness goal setting. Fitness goal is a specific, personalised and measurable objective. There are a wide range of fitness goals that people typically want to work towards. These include things like improving health, body composition, and skills acquisition. I don't know about you, but one of the downsides that I've experienced as a result of there being such a wide range of fitness goals is that it can be overwhelming in terms of what goal you should be going after. The good news is we'll start narrowing down your options in terms of the goal that you want to go after in the upcoming lectures. So you'll want to stick with me until we cover that subject. Here's another way to think about your fitness objectives. Fitness goals are like planting seeds in the garden of your well-being. Plant them with intention and nurture them with care. Regular workouts and a well-balanced diet are the sun and water that they require in order to grow. As you remove obstacles and stay patient, your fitness efforts will blossom into a harvest of personal achievement. Stronger, healthier, and more confident you. Allow me to introduce you to the SMART framework for effective fitness goal setting. Let's face it, you're most likely already aware of the SMART framework when it comes to goal setting, as it tends to come up in various areas of life, such as work-based performance. However, it can be a remarkable tool that you can utilize in order to revolutionize your attitude towards fitness. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Firstly, let's take a closer look at what specific means in the context of your fitness goals. Specific means having a well-defined objective or outcome. In the context of fitness, examples of this would include things like completing an introductory course to yoga or completing 30 laps in a swimming pool. A few of the benefits of having a specific target to go after when it comes to our fitness is that it provides us with something proactive to focus upon, in addition to fueling our goals with a sense of purpose. M stands for measurable. When you're setting out your fitness goal, you must ensure that you include some sort of metrics for tracking your performance. Examples of effective metrics for tracking your performance include things like running a 5K marathon under 30 minutes or losing 10 pounds in weight. The benefits of measuring your fitness goals is that they allow you to track your performance and progress. Additionally, a well-defined metric provides you with a clear indication when the goal has been achieved. Achievable. When we're setting effective fitness goals, it's important to have a realistic expectation in terms of what we're able to achieve. In other words, it can be extremely helpful to acknowledge to ourselves this is where I am currently in terms of our overall fitness, and this is where I ultimately want to be as a result of completing our fitness goal. For example, I'm sure you'll agree that expecting someone to go out and run a 5k race without doing any training would be an unreasonable expectation. However, would it be fair to say that if someone put in the necessary training over a 3-month period and then ran the 5k race, they would stand a far better chance of achieving their fitness objective? Are you still with me? How might you start thinking about applying the knowledge that we're covering in this lecture to the accomplishment of your own fitness objectives? R stands for relevant. Setting relevant smart fitness goals is all about getting fired up about fitness activities that are enjoyable and personally meaningful. For example, someone who absolutely loves swimming stands a greater chance of achieving a fitness goal of completing 30 laps in a swimming pool. Put simply, having relevant goals is an essential part of long-term success because they infuse your goals with enthusiasm, joy, and meaning. T stands for time bound. Smart fitness goals that are time bound is all about ensuring that you have a deadline to work towards. For example, a power lifter might set themselves a fitness goal of improving their bench press by 10% over the next 12 weeks. Fitness goals with a deadline help us to review our progress, keep on track, and stay motivated towards their accomplishment. These goals are like planting seeds in the garden of your well-being. What fitness goals provide you with a clear focus, are personally meaningful, and also include a metric for tracking your progress, as well as a deadline. Revolutionize your fitness today by harnessing the power of effective fitness goal setting. Next up, let's start the process of selecting a fitness goal by reviewing the various types of fitness objectives. This lecture, I'll be walking you through the 4 most commonly reported types of fitness goal. Selecting a fitness goal type is a first critical step, because once you start to narrow down in terms of the goal that you want to achieve, you can then start thinking about methodology in terms of the sort of training that you'll commit to, the different sorts of exercises that you'll need to select, in addition to things like nutritional planning. For example, a person who selects the fitness goal of accomplishing a 5k race will have a very different form of training compared to someone who wants to enter into a bodybuilding competition. In order to introduce you to the idea of these 4 types of fitness goals, I'll be introducing you to 4 different types of fitness characters. As we go through this lecture, you may want to pay attention to which of these 4 characters you find most relatable, because that could be a good indication in terms of the type of fitness goal that you want to move towards. Ready to get started? Then let's go. Fitness goal type 1, performance goals. This goal is represented by the character of the athlete. The athlete is the person who enjoys the thrill of pushing their limits. She celebrates outperforming her personal bests and has a clear direction and focus for her training. In other words, the athlete has a specific target that they want to achieve, such as running a 5K under 25 minutes or hitting a personal best in an exercise such as the barbell back squat. Fitness goal type 2, health orientated fitness goals. This fitness goal type is represented by the character of the gardener. Think of the gardener as a caretaker who tends to their inner garden of vitality, energy, and well-being. He invests his time into planting new fitness seeds and providing them with adequate nutrition so that they can grow into beautiful blooms. Gardeners will typically put their energy into activities that help them in feeling generally more healthier, or they have a specific health marker that they want to improve, such as lowering their blood pressure or increasing their cardiovascular health. Fitness goal type 3, aesthetic fitness goals. Aesthetic fitness goals are represented by the sculptor. A sculptor chips away at the stone with patient persistence. Gradually, over time, the sculptor reveals the gorgeous statue that lives at the heart of the stone. The sculptor's chisel is her workouts, and her polishing stone is her well thought out nutritional plan. If you're a sculptor, then you're most likely drawn towards body composition fitness goals, such as losing fat or gaining muscle. Fitness goal type 4, skills acquisition fitness goals. Skill acquisition fitness goals are represented by the explorer. The explorer is someone who enjoys the thrill of going out there into uncharted territory. The explorer typically enjoys discovering and learning new skills and abilities. Put simply, skills acquisition is all about developing capabilities in a specific sport or discipline. Examples of skills acquisition would include things like learning how to surf and martial arts. In this lecture, we have covered the 4 most commonly reported types of fitness goals. However, it's important to keep in mind that there are other types of fitness goals that fall outside of these 4 categories. These include goals such as psychological well-being fitness goals, which is all about increasing a person's general sense of contentment and peace of mind. Rehabilitation fitness goals, where a person's focus would be on healing after an injury. Lifestyle fitness goals, which tend to cover a wide range of fitness needs and outcomes. In this lecture, we have covered the 4 most commonly reported types of fitness goals. There was the athlete, who is concerned about hitting a specific target. There was also the gardener, who's concerned with generally improving their health and well-being. I also introduced you to the sculptor, who is looking to improve their physical appearance. Finally, there was the explorer, who enjoys the thrill of learning and acquiring new fitness-related skills. I've also mentioned that there are other sorts of fitness goals that people generally want to go after. If you feel that the fitness goal types that we've covered during this lecture don't resonate with you, then I've also included a breakdown of the other types of fitness goals. There are 10 of these in total. You'll find a breakdown of them within your course workbook. Actually, if you haven't downloaded it yet, then I highly recommend that you grab a copy of your course workbook now. You'll find that in the introductory section of this course. Because next up, we'll be diving into your first exercise, where you'll be selecting a fitness goal type. In this lecture, we'll continue to build up your understanding of these different types of fitness goals. In addition to that, I'll also be encouraging you to complete your first exercise towards fitness goal achievement. You'll most likely remember that in the previous lecture we looked at 4 of the most commonly reported fitness goal types. I wanted to continue building up your understanding of these different fitness goal types by providing you with a few more illustrative examples of how important it is to get it right from the get-go. Because the type of fitness goal that you select will have a long-term effect in terms of the approach towards your training, in addition to things like exercise selection. Allow me to illustrate this further by walking you through a few contrasting examples. Let me introduce you to Jake and Emma. Jake's fitness goal is to complete a 25k marathon. As a result, Jake's training involves getting in at least a 5k run every day. In addition to that, Jake tends to consume a diet that is rich in complex carbohydrates. These provide adequate fuel for his workouts, such as consuming pasta and potatoes. On the other hand, we have our other fitness enthusiast. Emma is working towards getting a beach-ready body because she has a summer vacation coming up. In other words, Emma wants to focus on losing at least 10 pounds whilst simultaneously toning up her muscles. Consequently, Emma is focused on a mixture of cardio, weight training, and calorie counting. Here are 2 more contrasting examples that illustrate the importance of fitness goal selection. Sam and Lucy are both fitness enthusiasts, but they have a very different type of training. Recently, Sam went for a medical checkup, and his doctor told him that he needs to get into better shape. Because unless he makes some lifestyle changes, he is at risk of developing heart disease. As a result, Sam has recently given up smoking and significantly reduced his alcohol consumption. Sam's focus is to ease himself into a regular exercise routine, whilst at the same time not wanting to strain his heart too much until he gets himself into better shape. On the other hand, we have Lucy. She's recently discovered the joy of rock climbing, and she wants to spend her time improving on developing this skill further. As a result, training mainly revolves around spending time at a local indoor rock climbing club. On top of that, she is focused on developing her upper body strength, including developing her core muscles, in addition to her bicep, forearm, back, and shoulder strength. In this lecture, I've walked you through 4 contrasting examples of the importance of selecting a fitness goal type. Now, what I encourage you to do is to spend a few minutes thinking about the sort of fitness goal that you want to go after. Now, if you don't know where to get started, then what I encourage you to do is to open up your course workbook and read through the 10 descriptions of the fitness goal types. This simple yet critical step will help you with narrowing down the sort of fitness goal that you want to go after. At this point, I merely want you to put your fitness goal into one of the 10 types of categories that is included within the course workbook. So take a few minutes before you go on to the next lecture to decide what category your fitness goal would fall under. One way of achieving this might be to think about it along these lines. Imagine yourself 3 months in the future, having achieved your fitness goal. What sort of activities, training, or nutrition might be required in order to get you there? In the next lecture, we'll be taking a closer look at why fitness goal selection matters more than you think. In this lecture, you'll discover the golden rule for boosting your exercise motivation. I know that many of you watching this right now struggle with your exercise motivation levels from time to time. But here's some good news. If you apply the golden rule for sustainable exercise motivation, then keeping yourself on track for achieving your fitness objectives will be far more easier and straightforward. Here is the golden rule. 5 minutes of a physical activity that you enjoy is far more beneficial for you than 60 minutes of a physical activity that you don't like. This simple yet powerful principle can revolutionize your attitude towards fitness. From I should be working out today towards oh boy, I get to work out today. Think about the golden rule like this. The 5-minute spark versus the 60-minute long haul. In other words, a short burst of physical activity that you enjoy results in you eagerly wanting to come back for more, versus a 60-minute sweat session that you don't enjoy can end up feeling demotivating and unsatisfactory. Allow me to walk you through a quick example of applying the golden rule for unlocking your motivation towards the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. Josh is a young man in his early 20s who has tried for the previous 3 months to get himself back into great shape. Josh really struggled with his consistent exercise motivation levels. Typically, Josh would start off with an initial burst of enthusiasm. However, he would continually find himself running into a brick wall. As a result, he would find himself back on the couch, eating junk food to try to make himself feel a little bit better. One day, over a cup of coffee, Josh talked about his challenges with exercise with his best friend Alex. During that conversation, Josh had a realization about the problem when it came to his exercise routine. Josh discovered that he was engaging in physical activity that he didn't enjoy or look forward to. So Alex suggested that Josh try out a different approach when it came to his exercise. He recommended that Josh try out a bunch of different classes and see which class brought a big smile to Josh's face. Alex's reasoning was pretty straightforward. If Josh could find a way of working out that provided him with a great deal of satisfaction and joy, then he would be far more likely to stick to it on a consistent basis, as his workouts would become something that he eagerly anticipated. And that's what Josh decided to do. He went out and tried out a bunch of different exercise classes and landed upon one that brought that big smile to his face. This proved to be a big game changer for Josh and how he approached exercise. Because exercise had turned from a chore that he didn't enjoy into the best part of every day. What do you think of Josh's example? How might you apply the golden rule to revolutionize your attitude towards fitness? One big benefit of applying the golden rule when it comes to your workouts is that it creates a positive feedback loop. Here is how a positive feedback loop works when it comes to your fitness. The more you enjoy your workouts, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the more likely you are to work out on a consistent basis. And the more you work out on a consistent basis, the better you feel. Over time and with consistency, these positive feedback loops can train your brain and attitude in such a way that you eagerly anticipate and look forward to every single workout because it just feels so satisfying and good. Are you starting to see why it's so transformational to approach your exercise using the golden rule? Listen, I guarantee you that if you approached your exercise by applying the golden rule consistently during the next 3 months, then not only would your workouts become something that you eagerly anticipate, you would also get into the best shape of your life. Here's a few tips to get you started with applying the golden rule. Start off by making a list of the activities that you've always wanted to give a try, or those that you're curious to know more about. Next, take notes after each physical activity so that you have something to compare them against. Additionally, you might want to ask yourself this question: has this activity passed the SMILE test? In other words, if you finish up the physical activity with a big smile on your face, then this is a good indication that you've just discovered that one exercise routine that can keep you on track for achieving your fitness objectives. Thirdly, after you've tried out a bunch of physical activities, compare your notes and identify 1 or 2 physical activities that you could consistently do on a regular basis that would bring you a great deal of joy and satisfaction. Golden rule is just one of the secrets to unlocking your exercise motivation towards the accomplishment of your fitness goals. In my first course in this exercise series, Unleash Your Exercise Motivation, 3 Simple Steps for Success, I walk you through a step-by-step formula that is virtually guaranteed to boost your exercise motivation levels permanently. The 3 revolutionary fitness steps involved in this course include: Step 1. How to exercise with enthusiasm and joy. In that step of the course, I provide you with 11 proven strategies for turbo boosting your exercise motivation levels. Step 2 of my Unleashing Exercise Motivation course includes 8 strategies to ease yourself into an exercise routine so that you can start up a new exercise routine comfortably without having to go through the initial phase of discomfort that so many of us face when it comes to starting up a new exercise program. Step 3 is about igniting your inner drive for long-term fitness success. In that step of the course, I share with you a secret that you won't find anywhere else in the other exercise courses that are available on the Udemy platform. It's a real game changer for tapping into your internal drive for exercise motivation. If you do struggle with your exercise motivation, then this is the course for you. Let's spark back into your exercise motivation by applying the golden rule. Remember, 5 minutes of a physical activity that you enjoy is far more beneficial for you than 60 minutes of an exercise that you don't like. If you want to kickstart your fitness revolution today, then I recommend checking out Unleash Your Exercise Motivation, 3 Simple Steps for Success. Details of how to enroll on this other Udemy course can be found in the final lecture for this program. What's your key takeaway from this lecture? How might you transform your attitude towards exercise by applying the golden rule. This brings us to the end of this section, where we've explored the benefits of effective fitness goal setting. In the upcoming section, we'll take your understanding to the next level by getting a crystal clear understanding of how to start crafting your own fitness goals. Are you excited to continue this journey of effective fitness goal setting? Great. Let's dive into the next section. Welcome to the second foundational step of this course. By the end of this section, you will have learned how to set yourself up for long-term fitness goal success by applying the SMART framework. Imagine for a moment that your SMART fitness goals are the equivalent of having an advanced GPS system on a sailboat. Enter in the coordinates of where you want to go. The GPS takes care of the hard work by plotting out your journey. You point the bow of the ship, which is the front, towards that end destination, and you allow the wind to fill your sails, propelling you forward. In order to achieve our aim of effective goal setting using the SMART framework, we'll firstly be looking at the most common pitfalls when it comes to fitness goal planning, so that you can avoid making the same mistakes. Understanding the most common mistakes to avoid is a critical step because it allows you to navigate around those areas that have resulted in other ships becoming wrecks. I'll also be walking you through examples of how to go about fitness goal setting the right way. This is like making sure that you have your essential navigational tools in order to get you to where you want to go. Also in this section, we'll be looking at the importance of getting into a positive feedback loop when you're working towards the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. Positive feedback loops play an essential role when it comes to achieving your fitness goals because they provide you with a sense of positive forward-looking momentum in addition to building up your confidence. They are the equivalent of ensuring that you have sails that can effectively capture the wind in order to propel you forward on your fitness voyage. I've also included in this section an advanced strategy for those of you who have already a few years of fitness performance under their belts. You see, when you've been training for 2 to 3 years, you require a slightly different approach compared to someone who is just starting out on their fitness voyage. Periodization is a method of planning and structuring your training so that you can maximize your results. Final idea that we'll be covering in this section is dealing with fitness goal setting setbacks. Managing and learning from setbacks in the right way can provide us with a greater degree of experience, confidence, and resilience. Are the equivalent of becoming a more experienced sailor through tackling tougher oceans. Once we've reached the end of this section, then that will bring us to the end of the foundational and theoretical part. After that, we'll be diving into a 12-step transformational workshop so that you can start putting into practice everything that you've been learning so far during this program. As a result, you'll have a well-crafted fitness goal in addition to an action plan to ensure your success. Here's a question that I would like you to hold in your mind as we go through this section. How might a deeper understanding of the SMART framework empower you towards the accomplishment of your fitness goals? Let me repeat that so that you have it firmly locked into mind. How might a deeper understanding of the SMART framework empower you towards the accomplishment of your fitness goals? Are you ready to set sail on the next phase of your fitness voyage? Then join me in the next lecture where we'll be diving into the most common fitness goal setting mistakes. In this lecture, we'll be examining fitness goals that miss the mark by not following the SMART framework, so that you can avoid making the same mistakes. Embarking on a fitness goal setting journey without applying the SMART criteria is like trying to assemble furniture without following the instructions manual. So in this lecture, I'll be providing you with a blueprint that you can follow in order to achieve your fitness goals without ending up with any leftover pieces. To achieve that, we'll firstly take a look at a few examples of how not to go about setting your fitness goals. Typically, understanding the wrong way to do something is just as vital as understanding the correct way to do it. Before we take a look at the examples, I wanted to provide you with a reminder of what's included within the SMART framework. SMART is an acronym that is made up of the following words. S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, and T is for time-bound. Each of the remaining slides within this lecture, I'll firstly be showing you a fitness goal. Then I'd like you to pause the video whilst you assess the fitness goal, in order to ask yourself, if I were to review this fitness goal using the SMART framework, then what SMART criteria has been met and what SMART criteria is missing. Let's now move on to the example so that you can get a clearer understanding of the various fitness goals that have missed the mark by not applying the SMART criteria. Here's the first of the 4 examples that we'll be taking a look at during this lecture. I will run 5 miles every day in order to prepare for a marathon. Please pause the video here and ask yourself, which elements have been met and which elements are missing? Assuming that you've come up with your own answer, as I'm just about to share with you, criteria that I think has been met and the criteria that is missing from this fitness objective. Firstly, this goal is specific, as the individual has clearly articulated completing a marathon. Secondly, the goal is measurable, as this individual has identified that in order to complete their marathon, they'll require to run 5 miles every day. Now let's review this fitness goal and identify the missing SMART criteria. Firstly, if this is a beginner athlete, they're most likely setting themselves up to fail by setting such a high target of running 5 miles every day. Perhaps they might be able to achieve that over a longer duration of time, but expecting themselves to run 5 miles as a beginner is most likely an unreasonable target. One way of fixing this might be to start off with setting themselves the target of running 1 mile per day and gradually working up to the point when they can hit that 5 mile target. Second criteria that is missing is that this goal isn't relevant. The individual hasn't included the reason why they would want to complete the marathon. One way of fixing this could be to include something like, "We'll complete this marathon in order to raise money for a local cancer charity." Finally, this goal doesn't meet the criteria of being time-bound, as it hasn't included a deadline for the completion of the goal. One way of fixing this could be to say, "I'll complete my marathon by the 1st of April. Here's another example of a fitness goal. I will join a yoga class twice each week. Please pause the video here to ask yourself, out of the SMART criteria, which has been met and which is missing. Allow me to share with you my answers. This goal has met the criteria for being specific, achievable, and measurable. Firstly, it is specific because the person has articulated that the way they'll get into shape is through attending a twice weekly yoga class. Secondly, this goal is achievable, as most people can fit into their calendar a twice weekly yoga session. Thirdly, this goal is measurable, as it includes a clear metrics in terms of attending a twice weekly yoga class. Here are the two missing criteria from this fitness goal. Firstly, the goal isn't relevant, as the person hasn't included the reason why they want to achieve the twice weekly yoga class. One way of fixing this could be to include something like, I'll attend a twice weekly yoga class in order to develop my core strength or balance. Next, this goal doesn't meet the criteria for being time bound, as the individual hasn't included a deadline for the completion of the goal. One way of fixing this could be, I'll be consistent with attending a twice weekly yoga class for the next 2 months. Here is a third example of a fitness goal. Work out more often and eat better. Please pause the video here to ask yourself, out of the SMART criteria, which has been met and which is missing. Ready for my answers? Then here you go. This fitness goal doesn't meet any of the SMART criteria. The goal is extremely vague and ambiguous. More than likely, this individual wouldn't see any real changes to their physical health and fitness because they haven't clearly articulated the targets that they want to work towards. Here is the final example of a fitness goal for this lecture. I want to do 50 push-ups in a row. Review this goal and ask yourself, out of the SMART criteria, which has been met and which is missing. Here are my responses. Firstly, this goal is specific because the person has clearly articulated that they want to be able to perform a set of push-ups. Secondly, this goal is measurable because the individual has included a metric that they want to achieve in terms of being able to complete 50 push-ups in a row. Here is the missing criteria from this fitness goal. Firstly, this goal isn't relevant, as the person hasn't articulated the reason why they want to be able to perform 50 push-ups in a row. One way of fixing this could be to include something like, I want to develop my upper body strength by completing 50 push-ups in a row. Secondly, this goal doesn't include a deadline, so it's not time bounded. One way of fixing this could be to say, I'll complete 50 push-ups in a row by the 1st of January. Thirdly, it's debatable to consider whether this goal could be considered as being achievable. On one hand, if this was a beginner athlete, then it might be unreasonable to expect them to be able to perform 50 push-ups in a row. And yet, on the other hand, this individual could work towards the target of being able to complete 50 push-ups in a row. In summary, trying to set a fitness goal without following the SMART criteria is like trying to assemble furniture without following the instructions manual. To maximize your fitness results, your objectives need to be SMART, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The common pitfalls that we've covered during this lecture is a critical step towards setting you up for SMART fitness goal success, as knowing the mistakes to avoid is just as important as knowing the right way to do things. In the next lecture, let's continue to build up your understanding of effective fitness goal setting, looking at a few additional examples of applying the SMART criteria. In this lecture, you'll gain a clearer understanding of applying the SMART framework to your fitness goals. You'll recall from the previous lecture that we covered the most common mistakes people make when they are setting their fitness goals. So I thought it would be a good idea to cover 5 examples of how to go about applying the SMART criteria for the establishment of your fitness goals. Are you intrigued to know more? Great. Let's dive in. Here's an example of a fitness goal that meets the specific from the SMART framework. Running a 5K marathon within 30 minutes. This goal is specific because it defines the objective of running that 5K race in that time frame of 30 minutes. Here's an example of a measurable goal. Increasing a person's deadlift strength by 15%. Let's say that an individual starts off with a deadlift of 100 pounds or 50 kilograms, and they wanted to increase their strength by 15%. That would require them to work up to a weight of 115 pounds or 52.22 kilograms. The great thing about a goal of this type is that they can split it down into mini goals. For example, they could set themselves a mini goal of reaching the benchmark of 105 pounds, then increasing that slightly to the next step, which could be 110, until they reach their grand total of increasing their deadlift by 15%. Breaking down your overall fitness objectives into mini goals is a great strategy for keeping you motivated and on track towards the accomplishment of your final goal. Here's an example of an achievable fitness goal. Attending the gym 3 times per week. Achievable goals encourage us to evaluate where we are currently and where we want to be once we have completed the goal. In a way, they are about evaluating our expectations in terms of whether it is possible for us to reach that goal within the specified time period. If we believe that a goal is too unattainable, then that is going to demotivate us towards the accomplishment of our fitness objectives. One way to get around this is by lowering our expectations in terms of the goal that we want to reach. Alternatively, it could be a great idea to break the goal down into a series of mini goals, and once we have completed those, it'll support us in getting to our end destination. Setting achievable goals for ourselves when it comes to our fitness is really all about building up our confidence and ensuring that the goal remains within reasonable reach. Before we move on to the next slide, how might you start applying the SMART framework to your own fitness goal setting efforts? Let's look at an example of a relevant goal. Pilates for lower back health. This individual has made the commitment to themselves to engage in regular Pilates workouts to help with the lower back health. Relevant goals are really about identifying a need that we have or an area that we want to improve on. In this example, perhaps the individual is struggling with lower back pain or with their posture. Therefore, they have set themselves a goal of engaging in regular Pilates workouts to help them with improving their core strength. As a result, this should reduce their lower back discomfort or improve their posture. The relevant part of the SMART framework reminds us that we need to answer an important question before we set our fitness goals. Why is this goal important to me? When a goal is filled with personal meaning and significance, then we are far more likely to accomplish it. Here's the final example that we'll be looking at for this lecture: time-bound fitness goals. In this example, a person has set themselves the goal of working out on a daily basis over the next 4 weeks. This is time-bound because it includes a deadline for the accomplishment of their fitness objective. In addition to that, built into this goal is another secret ingredient of building up sustainable fitness habits, because the goal is associated with a specific period of the day, early morning workouts. If the idea of building up a sustainable exercise habit is something that's intriguing to you, then I have some good news. In an upcoming course, I'll be providing you with a step-by-step guide for building up sustainable exercise habits. So you might want to keep your eyes open for when that course is released. The inclusion of a deadline when it comes to the accomplishment of your fitness goals can be a great way of keeping yourself motivated and focused on the accomplishment of your fitness endeavours. In this lecture, I've provided you with 5 examples of how you might go about getting started with applying the SMART framework to your own fitness goals. You now have a clear and thorough understanding of the application of the SMART framework when it comes to setting your fitness goals. Shortly, we'll be diving into a workshop where you'll start crafting your own fitness goal. And as we get closer to the workshop, what I would like you to do is to start considering this question: how might you craft a clear fitness goal for yourself using the SMART framework? In the next lecture, we'll be looking at the role of positive feedback loops when it comes to successful goal achievement. In other words, small fitness victories over time can transform into gigantic leaps forward in your fitness journey. In this lecture, we're looking at how gradual progression can maximize your fitness results. Let me start things off by sharing with you a personal anecdote. When I was in my early 20s, there was plenty of weight training sessions where I would throw myself into the training. For example, I can think of a leg day in particular whereby I push myself to the point of exhaustion through exercises such as the leg press, squats, and leg extensions. And my goodness, the day after, my legs were exhausted. I would end up walking like John Wayne, yelping every time I tried to ascend the stairs, and even getting up out of the chair was a chore. How about you? Have you ever experienced a degree of discomfort similar to that from your training? Have there been times when you've tried to work out consistently for a couple of weeks, not received the results that you wanted, and it ended up in another form of discomfort in terms of feeling dejected and disappointed, resulting in you quitting? If I had access to a time machine, then I'd like to go back through time to share with my younger self this piece of advice from the psychologist Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson suggests that when we set a goal for ourselves, instead of raising the bar up so high that it's almost impossible for us to achieve it, we should instead lower the bar so that it becomes impossible for us to fail. In other words, setting the bar for yourself so low that it's impossible to fail is all about gradual progression over time. Let's take a look at 3 examples of setting the bar low for yourself when it comes to the achievement of your exercise goals. Exercise goal example 1. Aiming to lose 30 pounds. One way of setting the bar low for yourself when it comes to achieving a goal of losing 30 pounds could be to set yourself a mini goal of aiming to lose half a pound for the first month, and then continuing that rate of progress, gradually building up more momentum over time. Exercise goal example 2, aiming to complete a 5k run. One way of setting the bar low for yourself in order to complete the overall goal of completing a 5k run could be on day 1 you walk to your nearest lamppost, on day 2 you walk to the second lamppost that's down your street, on day 3 you make it to the third lamppost. In this way you gradually build up to the point where you're able to successfully complete a 5k walk, or you could even level up the intensity as you progress so that you gradually introduce jogging, eventually building up to running. Exercise goal example 3, hitting a new yoga pose. One way of setting the bar low for yourself when it comes to reaching a new yoga pose would be to master the basics of the pose first, then extending yourself slightly more during the following week, and gradually building up your level of flexibility and confidence over time so that you can eventually hit that new yoga pose. Here's another way to think about the principle of gradual progression as it applies to your fitness journey. Focus on improving by just 1% from workout to workout. Now just imagine that for a moment. Let's say that you were able to improve on your previous workout by just 1% for the next 3 months. How much fitter, stronger, and healthier would you be after that 3-month period by applying that 1% rule? Ideally, it could result in you being 90% more fitter, healthier, and stronger. But that's the ideal. More likely, if you're a beginner athlete, then you could reasonably expect to be anywhere between 60 to 90% stronger, because these gains aren't necessarily linear when it comes to training. But I'm sure you'll agree that those are some sustainable and consistent gains that could make a big difference to your overall fitness levels. In summary, gradual progression is all about sustainable and consistent fitness gains, because accumulating little fitness victories every day results in long-term fitness rewards. Next up, if you're an intermediate or advanced athlete, then periodization can be a real game changer in the pursuit of your fitness goals. This lecture, we're looking at the benefits of introducing periodization for achieving your fitness objectives for those of you who are intermediate or advanced athletes. Periodization is an advanced strategy for breaking your training down into distinct phases that each have a different focus. For example, a periodized approach to training typically will involve 3 distinct phases. Firstly, there would be the base phase, where an individual is building up their foundational level of strength. Secondly, there is the build phase, where a person is more focused on developing a specific skill set or strength. Finally, there is a peak phase. This might include working towards achieving a new personal best or preparation for a competition. To illustrate the benefits of periodization, I'll be introducing you to Mark, who is a young powerlifter who is preparing for his next competition. Mark has 6 months to prepare for the British Junior Powerlifting competition. Recently, Mark's progress has stagnated. He has seen some development in the major lifts such as the deadlift, squat, and bench press, but he is becoming increasingly frustrated by his slow results. Let's see how Mark works through this plateau by introducing periodization into his training. Mark reviews his training program for the next 6 months and divides it up into 3 distinct phases as follows. Phase 1 is a hypertrophy phase. He increases his volume in order to build up his muscle mass. Phase 2 is a strength building phase. This is where he lowers the reps in order to increase his maximum strength. Phase 3 is a peaking phase. During this phase, Mark will prepare his body and mind to produce his maximum lift on competition day. Mark also factors in lighter weeks and active recovery days into his 6-month plan. He does this because he wants to keep his body feeling fresh, his mind engaged, and to provide him with a necessary break from the intense level of training. Setting mini goals for each of the 3 phases of his training keeps Mark motivated and focused. Additionally, seeing these constant improvements and progression results in Mark getting into a positive feedback loop. As a result, this provides Mark with a boost to his confidence levels. With the aid of his powerlifting coach, Mark devised a 6-month training program that optimized his strength, incorporated recovery, and got him prepared for his competition. Mark successfully introduced periodization into his training and won his powerlifting meet. Periodization is a strategy for breaking down your training into various phases. Typically, this will involve building up your foundational strength levels, specializing in either skills development or strength for a particular lift, a peaking phase to prepare you for a competition or to achieve a new personal best. Embrace periodization into your training and surpass your fitness aspirations. If you're an intermediate or advanced athlete, then how might you start introducing periodization to achieve your fitness goals? In the next lecture, you'll learn how to turn fitness setbacks into triumphs. In this lecture, we're taking a closer look at how to navigate and learn from fitness setbacks. Working towards the accomplishment of your fitness goals, you'll most likely encounter setbacks and challenges along the way. Setbacks can include injuries, plateaus, missed milestones, not seeing immediate results. Let's face it, setbacks can be frustrating, disappointing, and can even cause you to give up. Think about fitness setbacks like this. Imagine that you're walking along a path and in front of you you find a tall wall that seems impossible to scramble over. Despite jumping as high as you can, your fingertips can barely touch the top of the wall. Dejectedly, you sit on a nearby rock and feel the frustration. You feel like giving up. It's only from this new perspective that you realise there is a door handle sticking out from the wall. You walk over, grab the handle and turn it. Walk through the door and continue your journey. In other words, taking a step back from a fitness setback can open you up to new perspectives and possibilities that you may have missed before. Allow me to walk you through an example of how to successfully navigate and learn from a fitness setback. Initially, Emily was excited to sign up for her first 5K race. However, Emily ran into a series of fitness setbacks, including injuries, missed training sessions, and self-doubt. Fortunately, Emily didn't give up on her fitness objectives. Let's find out how Emily was able to successfully navigate her fitness setbacks. Emily managed to sprain her ankle by tripping over a rock on the path. Initially, Emily struggled with frustration because she thought that this would derail her achieving her fitness objectives. Despite Emily not being able to run on a regular basis, she decided to take a proactive approach towards maintaining her training. As a result, she kept up her fitness through engaging in a range of other exercises, such as swimming, CrossFit, and weight training. This variation in her training enabled her to maintain her fitness whilst providing enough time for her ankle to heal up. When Emily initially started her training, she would often struggle with negative thoughts. For example, when Emily started off her training, she was quite out of shape. This caused her body to protest when she was engaging in her training. Emily experienced this as a range of negative thoughts along the lines of, I can't do this, it's too hard, I want to give up. Fortunately, Emily followed a fitness guru on Instagram who one day talked about the power of affirmations to maintain motivation and a positive attitude when it came to training. That's exactly what Emily decided to do. Each time that her body sent her the signal that she couldn't do it, she would immediately hold in mind the thought, yes, I can. That became a mantra for Emily that propelled her towards greater fitness gains. Emily was able to maintain an optimistic and positive attitude towards her training despite encountering these various setbacks and challenges. In fact, she was able to get to the point where she used these different setbacks as further fuel to propel her towards the accomplishment of her fitness objectives. Emily's story is a good example of maintaining a positive attitude when it comes to our training. Often when we pursue a goal, we can encounter a range of setbacks and challenges that can cause us to think about giving up. However, with the right sorts of attitudes and strategies, those can become further fuel that propels us towards greater fitness success. Fitness setbacks can often seem like an impossible wall to try and scramble over. However, by maintaining a positive and flexible attitude, you can find a way to get around any potential setbacks that may stand in your way. Perhaps even finding that there is a door to walk through instead. Personally, I think self-reflective questions can be a great way of assessing, navigating, and learning from fitness setbacks. That's why I've included reflective questions in step 10, the goal setting workshop that you're about to enter into. These questions are a great way of getting yourself back on track in the event that you encounter a setback. In addition to that, one of the upcoming courses that I'll be releasing will provide you with a step-by-step process for maintaining a positive attitude when it comes to your training, including strategies for reprogramming your subconscious mind to set yourself up for fitness goal success, in addition to advanced strategies for working with fitness setbacks. So you may want to keep your eyes open for when that course is released. As we wrap things up for this lecture, ask yourself this question. How might you maintain a positive and flexible attitude when it comes to encountering your own fitness setbacks in the pursuit of your fitness objectives? This brings us to the end of the theory section of the course, where we've been covering effective fitness goal setting strategies. In the upcoming fitness goal workshop, I'll be walking you through a 12-step process that is virtually guaranteed to turn your fitness dreams into real results. Are you excited to continue your personal fitness revolution? Great. Let's dive into the Fitness Goal Setting Workshop. Welcome to the start of your fitness revolution with this goal setting workshop. By the end of this section, you will have completed a 12-step workshop that has been tailor-made to effectively define, craft, and achieve your fitness goals. Crafting a well-defined fitness goal is the equivalent of being a sailor who is setting forth on a voyage. In other words, in order to complete your voyage, you will require equipment in order to get you from where you are currently to where you eventually want to end up. That's exactly what you'll be achieving by throwing yourself into this workshop, where we'll be walking through a step-by-step process from turning your fitness goal from dream into reality. First things first, I'll be introducing you to a remarkable goal-setting tool known as the 4W square. This tool is so powerful that it can transform your attitude towards effective goal setting. In addition to that, I'll also be encouraging you to create a well-crafted goal statement. Next, I'll be introducing you to a super simple strategy for effectively creating your fitness goal action plan. We'll also be covering in this section why it's so essential to review your goals on a regular basis. Regular goal reviews are a great way of keeping yourself on track, in addition to helping you course correct as you go towards the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. Also in this section, we'll be looking at the importance of including rewards for yourself as you achieve key milestones towards the accomplishment of your goals. Rewards are a fantastic mechanism for keeping you looking forward and motivated. Visualization is a powerful way of seeing your fitness results in your mind before they enter into your reality. I'll be providing you with a set of instructions of how to visualize effectively so that you can see transformation at a far greater and quicker rate. The elements that I've just walked you through, including things like the 4W square, action planning, and visualization, are just a sneak peek into what's coming up in this section. There will also be other elements that we'll be including to set you up for long-term goal setting success. I highly encourage you to have a copy of your course workbook opened before you head into this section, because all of the steps that are required in order to complete this workshop have been laid out for you in your course workbook. So if you haven't downloaded that yet, I would highly recommend that you go back to the introductory section for this course and grab a copy of your course workbook before you proceed to the next lecture. Are you excited as I am to transform your fitness dreams into real results? Let's dive into the workshop and start turning the theory that you've been learning so far into practice. In this lecture, I'll be walking you through an excellent technique for establishing your fitness objectives known as the 4W square. I firstly want to give a shout out to Graham Nichols, who is a fellow Udemy instructor. In his course Strategic Life Coaching, he shared with us an excellent technique known as the 4W square. I was so blown away by this powerful goal setting tool that I wanted to include it within this course so that you can be set up for fitness goal setting success. The 4W square technique is simple yet powerful. Essentially, it breaks down the goal setting process into 4 categories. Each of these 4 categories comprise of a series of questions, starting with what, when, why, and how. These are the 4 W's. Imagine the 4W square technique is like a well-balanced recipe for goal-setting success, where the what provides the ingredients, when sets the cooking time, why adds the flavour of purpose, who represents the chef who orchestrates the entire cooking process. Let's now jump into using the 5W square to start crafting your fitness objectives. Under each of the 4 categories, what, why, when, and who, I've included a series of subsequent questions to help you with developing your fitness objectives. At this stage, I merely want you to explore your fitness goal through using the 4W square technique. In subsequent lectures, we'll be refining your goal down into a fitness goal statement, in addition to crafting a well-formed action plan. For the remainder of this lecture, I'm going to read out the different questions that are involved within the 4W square technique. You may want to follow along with this lecture and pause the video after I've read out the different questions, allowing yourself enough time to write down your answers. In addition to that, I've also included the questions within your course workbook. Are you excited about the prospect of diving into the 4W square technique to set yourself up for fitness goal setting success? Great, then let's get started. First up, we have what questions. What questions are a great way of identifying the specific target that you want to achieve, in addition to the necessary actions that are required in order to help you achieve it. What is the specific result that you want to achieve? Please pause the video here whilst you write down the answers to that question. What are the key actions? Not all of the actions, but the most important actions to get you started. Again, pause the video here whilst you jot down your answers to that question. What actions will you take first? What is stopping you right now? What are the key timelines or milestones? And finally, what is the last thing that needs to happen that would let you know that you've successfully achieved your goal? Let's now move on to the why questions. Understanding why you want to achieve a fitness goal is vital. This will provide you with the motivation and determination to achieve your fitness objectives. First up, we have, why do you want to achieve this goal? Again, pause the video here whilst you write down your responses to that question. Why do you need to achieve this goal? This is slightly different to the previous question because needing to do something taps into deeper levels of motivation. Why is this goal crucial for your life? Why is this goal critical for those that you care about? Beyond the immediate benefits, explore the deeper reasons why this goal is important to you. How does it align with your longer-term aspirations and personal values? Next up, we have who questions. Sharing your goals with other people benefits you in a couple of different ways. Firstly, you'll tap into the power of accountability. Having other people hold you accountable for the accomplishment of your goals is a great way to keep yourself on track. In addition to that, it's important to ask other people for their help to support you in the accomplishment of your fitness objectives, so they can provide you with an extra level of encouragement and resources to achieve your fitness objectives. Let's run through the who questions. Who are you doing this for? Who are you going to tell about your goals? Who will you ask for help and support? Who are you depending upon for help and support? This might be another way of saying who is a likely candidate for your accountability partner. If you're unclear about your accountability partner at this stage, then don't worry. We'll be returning to that point in a subsequent lecture. Besides others, how does this goal reflect who you are as a person and who you aspire to become? Who in your life or in the public domain has achieved similar goals? Can you learn from their journey? How can their experience inspire and guide you? Let's now move on to the when questions. Understanding the timings of your fitness goals is a great way to hold yourself on track for their accomplishment. Identify a specific date and time when you will start working towards your fitness objective. What preparations do you need to make to ensure a successful start? Outline the first concrete action that you will take and when you will take it. When will you achieve each section of your goal by? When will you achieve your final goal? When will you set your monthly review to track your progress? When will you ask people for help and support? Congratulations, you've reached the end of the 4W square technique. How do you feel? I'm sure you'll agree that there are multiple benefits from establishing your fitness objectives using this powerful technique. Because the 4W square technique is a well-balanced recipe for fitness goal setting success. The what, why, when, and who question categories allow us to approach and consider our fitness objectives from various different angles. Now that you've completed the 4W square technique, we can move on to the second step in your goal setting workshop. Next up, you'll be reviewing the results that you wrote down from the 4W square technique and transforming them into a refined fitness goal statement that meets the SMART criteria. In this lecture, you'll be transforming your results from the 4W square into a refined and clear fitness goal statement. A well-crafted fitness goal statement is a powerful tool because firstly, it's easy to remember. Secondly, you'll have a clear indication once the goal has been complete. And thirdly, it'll form a vital part of your visualization practice that we'll be returning to in a later step of this workshop. Let's look at a few examples of effective fitness goal statements. Reduce body fat by 5% through a combination of strength training and nutrition during the next 6 months. Run 3 times a week for 30 minutes, aiming for a 10K race in the next 3 months. Increase core strength with a 2-minute plank and 20 leg raises during the next 8 weeks. Here's what I recommend that you do now. Review your answers from the 4W square technique that we went through during the previous lecture. Create a 1-sentence fitness goal statement that encapsulates your answers from the 4W square. Ensure your summary meets the criteria for a SMART goal in terms of specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time-bound. Don't worry if this process takes you a little while to get right. In fact, the more that you refine and crystallize your goal, the greater the chances are that you'll reach success. Because when we refine a goal, it encourages our subconscious minds to get on board towards its accomplishment. More about that in the visualization step of this workshop. Here's a recommendation for setting yourself a deadline for your first fitness goal. I highly encourage you to set yourself a deadline of 90 days. 90 days is a great period of time because it enables you to make significant progress without feeling overwhelmed by the amount of work that is required to reach the goal, in addition to helping you stay motivated and on target. If you have a longer goal in mind, such as losing 20% body fat by this time next year, then I would highly recommend that you break that longer goal down into mini goals, setting yourself a target of 90 days for the first mini goal. In the event that you've come up with multiple goals as a result of going through the 4W square technique, then I recommend that you select the one that is most meaningful and important to you. One way of accomplishing this could be to read through your list of goals and ask yourself this question: if I could only pick one of these goals to complete during the next 90 days, then which one would I select? In summary, a fitness goal statement is a powerful tool because it provides you with a clear target to achieve. In addition to that, you'll also have a clear understanding once the goal has been completed. As a result, your confidence will be powered up to take your fitness to the next level by achieving even more challenging fitness goals. Next up, align your mindset with your muscles. Discover the transformational power of turning your fitness goals into positive affirmations. In this lecture, you'll be transforming your fitness goal statement into a powerful affirmation. Imagine for a moment that you have a fire that's burning in front of you, and you want that fire to burn hotter and brighter. What options are available to you? One option might be to pour petrol on the fire. That's what you do. You grab up a petrol pan and splash it over the flames. As a result, the flames burn hotter and brighter. Turning your fitness goal statement into a positive affirmation is like pouring petrol on that fire. Allow me to explain further by telling you about the benefits of including affirmations as part of your fitness goal achieving toolkit. Assuming that you're most likely familiar with what a personal affirmation is, because let's face it, it is generally included in a lot of self-help material. If you're unfamiliar with positive affirmations, then here is a brief description. Positive affirmations are empowering statements based upon our desired outcomes. Repeated often and with emotion, they are a powerful tool for focusing our minds on our desired fitness outcomes. When an affirmation is deeply ingrained within us, it provides us with a sense of, yes, I can do it. For affirmations to be effective, they need to follow the 5 P's. Number 1, stated in the positive. Affirmations that are inspiring and inspirational are far more likely to encourage us towards a desired outcome. Number 2, positive affirmations need to be stated in the present tense. Ensure that your positive affirmation is focused on achieving results now rather than achieving results at some point in the future. Third P of positive affirmations is ensuring that they are personal. Include in your affirmations words such as I am or my. Fourth P is physical. Make sure that when you're stating your affirmations, you use your whole body to express them, including things like making powerful gestures, using your arms, and expressing the affirmation with confidence and energy. Fifth P of positive affirmations is passionate. This is a reminder to include emotionally charged words when you're creating your own positive affirmations. For example, including words like love, passion, excitement, enjoyment, and satisfaction. Let's take a look at 3 examples of successfully transforming fitness goals into empowering affirmations. Fitness goal: complete a 10-mile bike ride in hilly terrain during the next 3 months. Let's now transform this cycling goal into an empowering affirmation. Every pedal that I push strengthens my body and brings me closer to conquering the 10-mile ride. Ease and confidence. Here's another example of a fitness goal. Fitness goal: reduce body fat by 5% through a combination of strength training and nutritional planning during the next 6 months. Let's now transform that fitness goal into an empowering affirmation. With each healthy meal and weight that I lift, I am transforming my body and effortlessly shedding body fat to achieve a lean and trim physique. Fitness goal: run thrice weekly for 30 minutes each, aiming for a 10k race within the next 3 months. Here's how we might turn that fitness goal into an empowering affirmation. Each run fills me with energy and determination, preparing my body and mind to cross the finish line of the 10k race triumphantly. There are 3 steps for creating your own positive affirmation based upon your fitness goal. Step 1. Review your fitness goal. Step 2. Apply the 5 P's of positive affirmations that we've run through during this lecture. Step 3. If you require that little bit of extra inspiration, then you can always Google fitness affirmations. However, what I would suggest that you do is when you have an inspiration from reading affirmations that are available on the web, you craft one so that it's specific to you based upon your fitness goal. This is a powerful reminder that affirmations tend to be more effective when they are personalized. To achieve maximum results from positive affirmations, then I highly encourage you to state your positive affirmation with confidence and out loud at least a couple of times every day. It's the consistency and repetition that deeply ingrains the positive affirmation into our subconscious minds. In closing, unleash the power of positive affirmations for keeping you laser focused on your desired fitness outcomes. Repeat them consistently, daily, and with confidence in order to maximize the power of this fitness transformational tool. Up. Let's set you up for fitness goal achieving success by creating an easy to follow action plan. In this lecture, you'll be developing an easy to follow action plan so that you can set yourself up for fitness goal achievement success. And is like having your own fitness map. It provides you with an end destination, a sense of direction, and a clear set of instructions for how you're going to get from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. Let's jump in and start creating your fitness goal action plan. First off, write down a list of the action items that you discovered as a result of going through the 4W square technique. Next, review that list of action items and put a 1 next to the one that you identify as being the most important. Repeat this numbering process until you have listed this numbering of importance and priority by going through each of the action items on your list. For example, you would place a 2 next to the second most important action item on your list and a 3 next to the third most important action item. Rinse and repeat until you have gone through all of the action items on your list. Here's a quick note that's something too important when setting your action items. Ensure that your action items are real actions versus false actions. Real action items are activities that will lead to real fitness results, versus false actions provide us with the illusion of progress without actually getting us really anywhere. Allow me to provide you with a few examples of what I would consider as false actions. Listening to fitness podcasts without applying the knowledge that you're learning. Putting workouts into your calendar but not sticking with them. And creating over elaborate and complex workout programs. Now let's take a look at 3 examples of what I would consider as real actions. Fitting in a workout just before you head out to work. Getting your exercise gear the night before. Signing up for an event such as a 5K run. The final step of this lecture is to evaluate the actions that you've written down. Place a line through those actions that could be described as false actions. Remember, those are the action items that provide us with the illusion of progress without really causing us to reach our end fitness destination. Finally, on a fresh piece of paper, ensure that you write down at least your top 3 to 10 action items. And keep that piece of paper to hand because it will provide you with a clear roadmap to achieve your fitness objectives. In the next lecture, we'll be exploring why regular reviews are a critical part of fitness goal achievement. In this lecture, we'll be taking a closer look at why regular reviews are a critical part of fitness goal achievement. Reviewing our fitness goals is a great way of taking a step back, evaluating our progress so far, and evaluating the next critical steps to take us from where we are currently to where we want to be in the future. Also in this lecture, I'll be encouraging you to identify a quick win so that you can start building up some positive momentum towards the accomplishment of your fitness objective. In addition to that, I'll also encourage you to step outside of your comfort zone by identifying a stretch goal. Let's get to it. Reviewing our progress towards the accomplishment of our fitness goal has several benefits. Firstly, it allows us to celebrate our successes along the way. Celebrating our fitness victories is a critical part of building up our resilience and confidence that we can achieve our final fitness objective. Regular reviews are also critical for helping you to stay motivated, as they allow you to track how far you have come and identifying that you're most likely far closer to accomplishing your final fitness goal than perhaps you had realized. Finally, reviewing your goals on a regular basis enables you to course correct and adapt. When you're working towards the accomplishment of a fitness goal, you often discover more information or you may run into obstacles along the way. Regularly reviewing those sorts of obstacles enables you to create additional action items and plans so that you can successfully navigate around them. In fact, that's something that I want to highlight here. When you created your action plan in the previous lecture, I would highly encourage you to look at that document as a living document. In other words, those actions aren't written in stone. As you work on completing your fitness goal, you'll be able to add more action items to it so that you have an even clearer understanding of the necessary steps that are required to get you from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. I've included for you within the course workbook 5 self-reflective questions that you may want to consider including as part of your regular reviews. Furthermore, I would suggest that you create a monthly calendar entry so that you can set aside enough time to engage with this essential fitness goal practice. Regular reviews are a great way of keeping yourself on track, but there is something else that's even more important: the idea of positive momentum. Positive momentum is about that initial spark of energy that has the potential to ignite your exercise fuel. Therefore, what I would encourage you to do is to set yourself up for goal achievement success by identifying a quick win. Identify one quick win from your action plan and make sure that you follow through and complete it today. Examples of quick wins include things like going out for a brisk walk, preparing your exercise gear the night before so that you can fit in a workout the following morning, or following along to a guided yoga class available on YouTube. Now that you've identified your quick win, it's also essential that you continue to build up your positive momentum by identifying a stretch action or goal that will require you to stretch that little bit more in order to achieve it. Again, this is critical because it will play an essential role in building up your resilience and confidence that you can complete the final goal. Examples of stretch goals include things like calling up a personal trainer to book in a personal training session, signing up to a 5K race, or taking a fitness class taster session. Regular reviews are an awesome way of celebrating your fitness victories, in addition to tracking your progress and planning for any obstacles that you may encounter when you're working towards the achievement of your fitness goals. I've also encouraged you during this lecture to identify a quick win and a stretch goal so that you can start building up positive momentum. Coming up, we'll be taking a closer look at how an accountability partner can play a vital role in the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. In this lecture, you'll be transforming your fitness dreams into reality through the power of accountability. Think about an accountability partner as if it is a ship's anchor. During turbulent seas, ship anchors are essential to ensure that you remain grounded and prevent you from drifting off course. In other words, an accountability partner plays an essential role in terms of keeping you on track to achieve your final fitness objective, in addition to calling you out if you start to drift off course. Here are 3 amazing benefits of working with an accountability partner in your fitness aspirations. Camaraderie and friendship. Having an accountability partner by your side on your fitness journey reduce your feelings of isolation whilst simultaneously increasing your feelings of 2 of us are in this together. Challenge and motivation. One of the big benefits of an accountability partner is that they can be there to call you out when you're making excuses. As a result, you'll stay on track for achieving your fitness objectives. Celebrating together. Celebrating with a like-minded individual that's been there for you from day one throughout your fitness journey is a great way to reinforce your fitness victories, in addition to providing you with an important sense of positive momentum. Here is a super simple exercise for you to discover your own accountability partner. Take out a fresh piece of paper and write your name in the middle. On the outer edges of that piece of paper, write down groups of individuals, including family, friends, co-workers, online communities. You get the basic idea. Connect your name to each of those groups by drawing a line between them. Under each group, write down the names of the individuals who have the potential to become your accountability partner. For example, under the family group, you could write down the names of your siblings or your parents. Under co-workers, it could be the name of a guy or gal who you speak to on a regular basis at work. Finally, take a step back and review the names that you've written down. Place a tick mark next to the individual who would be a good candidate to become your accountability partner. Set an action for yourself to call them during the next week. Asking someone to become your accountability partner can be as simple as, would you mind if I call you up every couple of weeks to help me with staying accountable towards the accomplishment of my fitness journey? So how about it? Could asking someone to be your accountability partner be the very thing that helps you stay on track for the accomplishment of your fitness goals? During this lecture, we've only just taken a glimpse at the power of accountability for achieving your fitness objectives. In a future course, I'll be providing you with a step-by-step guide for building rock-solid exercise habits. In my exercise habits course, I'll be providing you with advanced strategies for harnessing the power of accountability in your fitness aspirations. In the next lecture, we'll be diving into how planning rewards for yourself keeps you motivated and on track towards the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. In this lecture, we'll be taking a closer look at why planning rewards for yourself keeps you motivated and on track for achieving your fitness goals. Imagine for a moment that it's a scorching hot day and you're in the middle of a 10k hike in the countryside. Various points during this hike, you stop to take in the spectacular views that are unfolding in front of you. You're also eagerly anticipating a big, chilled glass of your favourite beverage in order to quench your raging thirst. In this example, pausing for those moments to take in the spectacular views would be the equivalent of rewarding yourself for achieving key milestones towards the accomplishment of your fitness goal. Furthermore, a nice big glass of your chilled favourite beverage would be the equivalent of a final incentive that you would reward yourself with once you have completed your goal. Allow me to walk you through a little bit of the neuroscience behind the idea of incorporating rewards when you're setting out to achieve your fitness goals. Have you ever heard of the neurochemical known as dopamine? Essentially, dopamine is a hormone that your brain naturally produces when you achieve a goal. For example, have you ever experienced a little thrill when you have ticked something off on your to-do list? Well, that momentary positive buzz that you get from ticking something off your to-do list is due to a spike in your dopamine levels. Furthermore, your dopamine levels will also spike when you're anticipating there being a reward at the end of a goal or project. In other words, dopamine plays a critical role when it comes to the motivation towards the accomplishment of our fitness objectives. Now that you have an idea about the relationship between dopamine, motivation, and goal setting, we can now hack into this powerful tool to support you in the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. First off, what I would highly encourage you to do is take a look at your big fitness goal. Work out the key milestones or mini goals that will be required in order to reach that final destination. Next, for each of those key milestones or mini goals, I would highly encourage you to plan a reward for yourself in advance so that you can then use that to keep yourself on track, motivated, and even inspired to reach those key milestones. Here are a few examples of rewards that a person could set for themselves for achieving key milestones towards the accomplishment of a 5K marathon. Milestone 1. Successfully complete a 20-minute brisk walk every day for a week. Reward. Indulge yourself in an hour of your favourite TV show. Milestone 2. Complete 30 minutes of light jogging every day for a week. Reward. Treat yourself to a dish of your favourite meal. Milestone 3. Integrate 3 intense running intervals into your 30-minute jog every day for a week. Reward. Celebrate your achievement by catching up with a friend over coffee or lunch. Finally, I would highly encourage you to plan a big reward for yourself once you achieve your final fitness goal. Examples of this could include things like planning a well-deserved vacation or treating yourself to something special. Think about it like this. You've been working so diligently hard towards the accomplishment of your fitness goal. And so you deserve to have that acknowledged and celebrated. In summary, when we plan rewards for ourselves for achieving milestones towards our fitness objectives, this releases a neurochemical known as dopamine. Dopamine plays a vital role in keeping us motivated and on track for achieving our fitness objectives. Coming up, let's take a closer look at the advantages of harnessing periodization for those of you who are intermediate or advanced athletes. In this lecture, we'll be harnessing periodization for those of you who are intermediate or advanced athletes. Periodization is the discipline of organizing your training into distinct phases towards the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. Just as an architect would focus on developing his building by establishing the foundation, strengthening the structure, and adding finishing touches, periodization guides you through preparation, strength building, endurance, performance, and finishing touches. As I mentioned earlier on in this course, periodization tends to be a strategy that is most appropriate for intermediate and advanced athletes. Therefore, if you're a beginner athlete who is just starting out with their fitness transformation, then you don't need to worry so much about periodization at this stage. However, once you've been training for a period beyond 2 years or so, you'll need to start factoring in periodization so that you can steadily work towards bigger fitness objectives. Allow me to walk you through the steps that are required in order to start introducing periodization into your training. First off, you'll need to review your big fitness goal. Next, through a combination of using an organizer and your calendar, split that training goal into different phases based upon various focuses that you have for your training. For example, one training phase might be dedicated to strength building, another for hypertrophy, which is muscle building. In addition to that, you may also want to incorporate other factors such as power, endurance, and certainly recovery. Ensure that each of your training cycles is broken down into 6 to 12-week periods. Furthermore, you'll also want to swap out different exercises that target certain muscle groups throughout your various training cycles. This will help by reducing boredom, keeping your mind engaged, and your muscles constantly responding to variations and adaptations in your training. When you're introducing periodization into your training, it's really essential to allow your body to lead the way. If you start to notice that you're feeling generally fatigued, drained, or noticing an increase in tendency towards injury, then that is a good indication that the time has come to reduce your training slightly, or perhaps even taking a brief break. In addition to allowing your body to lead the way, I'd highly recommend that you incorporate rest days and active recovery days into your training calendar. Taking short breaks from your training or using active recovery days can be an essential strategy for reducing boredom, overtraining, and keeping you motivated towards the accomplishment of your overall fitness objective. Listen, periodization is a complex topic involving various forms of periodization, such as linear periodization or undulating periodization. In fact, periodization could be a whole course within itself. So what I've done in the resource section for this lecture is include a link to a Healthline article so that you can check that out as an additional resource to set yourself up for introducing periodization into your training. In conclusion, periodization is a fantastic strategy for those of you who are intermediate or advanced athletes, as it enables you to reduce plateaus, reduce boredom, and minimize the potential for overtraining. If you're an intermediate or advanced athlete, then I highly recommend that you do your own research to get started with periodization in order to maximize the benefits of this transformational fitness tool. And remember to join me for the next lecture, because we'll be taking a closer look at leveraging the power of visualization in the accomplishment of your fitness goals. In this lecture, you'll be unlocking the transformational benefits of incorporating visualization in the pursuit of your fitness objectives. Using visualization in the pursuit of your fitness goals is like crafting a detailed treasure map before embarking on a daring adventure. Just as a treasure map outlines the path to hidden riches, visualization creates a mental roadmap on your journey towards your fitness destination. In this analogy, your treasure is your fitness goals, whether that's gaining muscle, building strength, or losing weight. Visualization is a fantastic tool as it taps into the power of your imagination, allowing you to see your fitness dreams become a reality. Allow me to quickly run you through a brief example of how you can start using visualization to turn your fitness dreams into a reality now. First of all, you'll want to close down your eyes. And as you close down your eyes, I'd encourage you to take in a deep breath. Hold that breath for a moment, and now release. And as you release, just allow any tension to wash away from your body. Now, with your eyes closed, what I would like you to do is to picture in front of you a podium. And on top of that podium is a version of you that is brimming with vitality, health, and fitness. Now, notice the expression and stance of this version of you. It's ecstatic because they're holding aloft a golden trophy. The golden trophy represents the accomplishment of your fitness victory. You can also start to see a stadium of cheering fans who are there celebrating with you as you claim your fitness victory. Now, just for a moment, what's it like to see this version of you? That version of you that is proud, confident, and ecstatic that they have claimed their fitness victory due to all of the hard work that they've been putting in over the last several months. Notice any feelings that start to arise as you picture this scene in front of you now. Now, just before you start opening up your eyes, you can take a snapshot of this picture of you looking triumphant now that you've claimed that fitness victory. And just take that snapshot and stick it in your pocket. And as it rests there in your pocket, perhaps from time to time, you can take that picture out and look at it for added motivation and inspiration. And now you can just start to open up your eyes. Perhaps taking a moment to shake your limbs and look around the room just to connect with your surroundings. You feel right now? Are you starting to see why visualization is such a powerful tool in the accomplishment of your fitness goals? Now, let's take a closer look at some of the benefits that you can expect to receive as a result of visualizing on a regular basis. One of the biggest benefits of visualizing successful fitness outcomes on a regular basis is that it results in your confidence and self-belief being built up. Visualization is the equivalent of sending a positive message to yourself that runs along the lines of, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. More than likely, you've most likely heard of the power of visualization as it's often talked about by Olympic or professional athletes. They regularly engage in visualization, seeing themselves perfecting their form, developing new skills, or achieving their final objectives. Visualization is a great way of creating a mental movie within your mind of seeing yourself claiming that fitness victory, increasing the likelihood of you achieving your fitness goals in reality. If you're intrigued to get started with using the power of visualization, then I've got some great news for you. I've created a tailor made self hypnosis recording that includes a powerful technique for seeing your fitness goals as reality now. You can go ahead and download a copy of that self hypnosis recording in the introductory section for this program. To maximize the benefits of your transformative fitness self hypnosis recording, I encourage you to listen to it every day for the next 3 weeks. Regular visualization in this way is like planting seeds in a garden. Provide it with adequate sunlight and water, and watch as that seed transforms into a beautiful flower. Are you excited about maximizing the likelihood of achieving your fitness goals through the power of visualization? Next up, discover how confronting and learning from challenges can transform your attitude towards fitness. In this lecture, we're looking at how to adapt to setbacks in the pursuit of your fitness goals. Learning from fitness setbacks is like forging steel in a furnace, because when iron meets intense heat and pressure, it becomes stronger and more resilient. Likewise, facing setbacks in the pursuit of your fitness goals leads to greater skills acquisition, adaptability, and determination. Result, like tempered steel, you'll become stronger and more resilient. For this step, I've included 5 questions to help you with learning and adapting to any setbacks that you may encounter when working towards your fitness goals. Allow me to walk you through some of those questions for the remainder of this lecture. Setbacks are actually lessons in disguise. Think about a recent setback that you may have experienced as a result of pursuing a fitness goal, and ask yourself, when I think back on that experience, what are the potential lessons that I could draw from it? Facing fitness challenges can provide us with important data that we can adapt to. Think about a recent or future challenge that you've encountered as a result of pursuing your fitness goal. How might you gain valuable data from that experience to adapt your training accordingly? Here is another way of adapting to or learning from setbacks. No one is 100% motivated to train all of the time. What strategies in the past have you called upon to get you up and moving? Analysing setbacks can provide us with important information in terms of the triggers that we are unaware of. For example, a poor night's sleep can sap your motivation to get up and work out. How might you review a recent fitness setback with the intention of discovering potential patterns or triggers? In summary, learning and adapting to setbacks is a great way to set yourself up for long-term fitness success. Next time that you experience a setback in your training, open up your course workbook and work through the 5 questions that have been included. These questions can provide you with transformative insights related to how you may need to adapt your training. Put simply, Transform that challenge into fuel for a fitness goal success. Next up, let's set you up for long-term fitness success by completing a fill in the blanks fitness goal template. This lecture will be setting you up for long-term success through creating a fitness goal plan. Fitness goal plans are like charting a course before you set sail on a voyage. Just as a well-planned route in advance provides you with a smoother journey and increases the likelihood of reaching your end destination, a fitness goal plan keeps you focused, on track, and motivated to complete your fitness voyage. The big idea behind creating a fitness goal plan for yourself is that this becomes a master document that you can quickly refer to when you feel yourself drifting off track from achieving your final fitness goal. In order to complete your fitness goal plan, you'll find a fill in the blanks template within the appendix section of your course workbook. I suggest that you have that opened up in front of you so that you can follow along as I walk you through the different sections of your fitness goal plan. You'll see at the top of your fitness goal plan template a section for filling in the start and end date for accomplishing your fitness goal. And beneath that is another section where you can write in your fitness goal. In addition to that, there is a blank section where you can jot down your top 3 key milestones for the accomplishment of the overall fitness goal. Underneath the section where you have jotted down your top 3 milestones for accomplishing your fitness goal is a section for you to enter in the top 3 rewards that you can expect to receive as a result of completing each of those milestones. Remember, planning rewards for yourself in advance is a critical step towards keeping you motivated and on track for the accomplishment of your fitness objectives. Hopefully, by now, you'll also have a clearer understanding of who to ask to be your accountability partner. Obviously, before you jot down their contact details within your fitness goal plan, you'll want to have their confirmation that they're happy to agree to be your accountability partner. You'll also find that beneath the section where you've jotted down your accountability partner's contact details, you can enter in the days and times when you'll be working out. Knowing when you'll be working out is another key step in terms of keeping yourself consistent for hitting your fitness goal. Timing your workouts is a critical factor in terms of turning them into a regular workout habit. If you're intrigued to understand more of the science behind turning your workouts into a regular exercise habit, then I've got some good news for you. In an upcoming course, I'll be walking you through step by step the exact processes that you need to do in order to turn your workouts into a regular habit that you eagerly anticipate completing. Beneath the section where you've entered in your accountability partner's contact information, in addition to the timings for your workouts, you'll see a section where you can enter in the tool that you'll be using in order to track your fitness progress. Now, I know that we haven't yet covered that within this course. That's coming up next. So what I recommend that you do is come back to this section once you have a clearer understanding of the tools and methods that you'll be using to track your fitness performance. The final section of your fitness goal plan is dedicated to rest and recovery. Make sure that you jot down the top strategies that you'll be using in order to maximize your recovery between workouts. Again, I'm aware that we haven't yet covered that within this course, so come back to this section once you have a clear understanding of the top strategies that you'll be using in order to optimize your rest and recovery. How about you? You see the benefits of having a master document that details your top strategies, resources, and tools that are required in order to smash your fitness goals. Next up, discover the value of belonging to a thriving fitness community for achieving your fitness objectives.